Shabbat Shalom. At the end of this week's parshat Shofetim, we have the ritual of Egla Arufa. It's a case where a body, victim of foul play, is found somewhere in the fields or the woods between two towns. There's been no report of a murder. No one has any idea. Supposedly, as far as we know, no one has any idea who killed this person. And so we measure to find out which is the closest town to where the body was found. And then there's this whole ritual involving the elders of that town and the priests and the breaking of the neck of this calf. And then at the very end of the ritual, the elders of the town make this proclamation: Yadenu lo shafu et adam hazeh, ve'einenu lo ra'u. Our hands have not spilled this blood, and our eyes did not see. In other words, we didn't kill this person, and we didn't see who killed him. Rashi brings what he finds before it in his version of the Mishnah, what the sages said in Masechet Sota, which said in Hebrew, "V'chial ta'alev sheziknei Beth Din Shofetim damim heim, ela lo rienua ufatnu b'lo mezonot u'b'lo levia." Would anyone think that the court, the elders of the town, they're the ones who murdered him? Rather, it means that we didn't see him and let him leave the town without food or without an escort. So that seems to be, they're taking responsibility for not providing an escort for this person, and therefore he was by himself in the woods and someone jumped on him and murdered him. However, Rabbi Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, the great German rabbi of the 19th century, thinks that the Mishnah quoted by Rashi has an accretion, that the very last phrase is that we didn't let him go without food or with an escort is not in the original text of the Mishnah. The original text of the Mishnah says simply, we didn't let him go. We didn't see. And in fact, his hunch is confirmed by the version of the Mishnah that the Rambam Maimonides have, which we have in Maimonides' own handwriting, where there, in fact, that phrase is missing. And Reb Shimshon Raphael Hirsch finds proof of this in the Yerushalmi, which quotes the Mishnah again without that phrase. And this leads to a interesting possibility, because without that phrase, it opens up the possibility that they're saying that we're not sure who it is that they let go. Was it that they let go the victim, who was all by himself in the fields, in the wilderness, or on the side of the road? Or did it mean that we let the murderer go? We had a murderer in our town, and we didn't do anything about it, and that's how this event happened. And in fact, the Yerushalmi Sota has these two interpretations as a difference of opinion between the sages of Eretz Yisrael and the sages of Bavel. The sages of Eretz Yisrael said that they're speaking about the murderer, actually, and the sages of Bavel say that they're speaking about the victim, as in the version of the Mishnah cited by Rashi. In fact, though, I see no reason why we can't accept both as correct. In other words, that the town, the people, the elders of the town, the elected officials, or the people responsible for the town, or even all of the citizens of the town, are taking responsibility for both sides of the problem. We're taking responsibility for not having seen to it that there are no murderers in our midst, and that some murderer wasn't passing through our town or living in our town, and we didn't catch him and do something about it. And also for not providing for safe roads between the towns where this person could travel, and if not, then at least give him some escort. There's no reason that we can't take responsibility for both. And in fact, it has been the Jewish tradition to consider it that this sort of collective responsibility devolves upon the town, even though this is not necessarily the way the law, customs in various countries, or the so-called international law looks at things. The Jewish people have always maintained, have long maintained during the Galus, the years that we were in Russia and other places, the victim of pogroms, that the town officials should take responsibility for the murderers and the hooligans who attack the Jews, and not simply, brush it off and say, well, there's nothing we can do about it. And in Israel, unfortunately, the situation continues where we try to get the terrorist organizations who are responsible for some of the villages near Israel, or the Arab states surrounding Israel, to take responsibility for the terrorists and murderers in their cities and towns who go and kill Jews, and of course with no success. But be that as it may, we take upon ourselves this higher morality. We take it upon ourselves, perhaps sometimes in excessive fashion, to take responsibility for any and all criminals that are produced in our midst. I think this is a wonderful example of Torah morality and how it demands more of us as individuals and as communities. And it's a good lesson, and let's just hope that we can somehow get the message across to our neighbors. Thank you very much, and Shabbat Shalom.